All right. Thank y'all for joining me. Today is a very, very special day. And it is not only is it Wednesday, and I got some things to tell you about Wednesday, it is also my paternal grandmother's birthday. Her anniversary of her life, the beginning of her life, when she was in this realm. So excited because I'll tell you first about, I got new toys. First, I'll show you my new toys. Cute. I got some new toys. And then I found this. I can't even hold it right. Darling. Ain't that sexy as fuck? Yeah. She was like, go ahead, get that for me, bud. I got you, baby. I love it. Cute. So I got my little fan and my little. I'll take a picture. I'll do it later. Anywho. You know what? Just let me bless y'all with some peace real quick. My Oshun bell is over there. When I tell you I love Billie Holiday, I've had like this obsession for Billie Holiday since I was a little girl. And my, of course, parents thought that was kind of strange or weird. And then my Aunt Kathy, rest in peace, my paternal grandmother's eldest child, before she passed away, you know, she understood immediately why. And she taught me a lot about my grandmother, right? So she was like the first one who took me to her resting place in Compton. And I was just fascinated, right? And I think it was probably like my first time to a cemetery, and I totally wasn't scared at all. But when we found it, I was trying to hug the ground, and my aunt was like, "What did you do?" And I was like, "Can we have a picnic?" You know, outside at the cemetery. And she was like, "Nah, girl, you can do that another time." When I got older and I was able to go and visit my grandmother's resting place as an adult, I would go and sit and kind of make like not a picnic, but I would definitely have a blanket and sweep her headstone and everything, and just thank her and have conversations with her, right? So when I was hearing these things, it was just like conversation. And this was it was kind of like it happened before and after my awakening, which was kind of strange because I didn't really fully get the concept when I wasn't really into the journey like that, but it just was, right? So I'm gonna tell you about my first clairvoyant experience. It was actually through the senses, through the sense of smell, right? And I forgot what that's called, but I was about 9 years old, and I was in the living room, and over our fireplace we had this mantle, and my grandmother's picture was there. And it was actually, I have it on the altar right now because it's her birthday. It was actually this picture here, right? So I took this picture and I was dancing with it. I was corny. I was 9, right? So, you know, and then I took this big whiff to hug it. And I smelled this perfume. It was not from the times. It was not from this time. It was from a long time ago. I could tell it was like an antique ass fragrance, right? It was smelled like roses, but it smelled like this dusty rose smell. It was like, I could just, when I smelled it, I just imagined this flower and dust. It was beautiful, right? But it scared me. I was 9, 8 or 9. I think I was 9. And I ran up the stairs so quick, I don't even think my feet touched the floor. I ran up the stairs so quick because I was like, Dad! I was scared out of my mind. I was like, wake up, Dad. So I was like frantic, right? And my dad, one thing you did not do was wake him up out his sleep because he had to go to work. And I was trying, I didn't even care because somebody needs to know this. And it was his mom, so I had to tell him. And I was like, Dad, I smelled this. And, I told him about the experience downstairs, and he kind of like just stood up like on one hand, like I guess trying to figure out if I was real. What I was saying was like if he was awake or what was going on, and kind of come into consciousness because I was frantic, and I remember he just listened. He had this very like this look on his face, like. And like, it was kind of like, why the fuck is you waking me up? And the other one was like, oh my God, sort of look. If you can imagine that combination look on my face, because I kind of really just look like my dad. And so I remember his eyes sort of watered. I'll never forget that, ever. And it was confirmation to me that it was real, that it really happened. Because he was like, how could she know this? You know, I never had the pleasure to know my grandmother, and she died when my dad was about 11 or 12. So she came to me, and that was my very first clairvoyant experience through the sense of smell. And now when I smell, like the first time I smelled Papa Legba, the first time I experienced Papa Legba, it was through the sense of smell as well. And so, so fragrances and things like that are, to smell beautiful and wonderful is everything to me, because I sense things and goodness out of my sense of smell. So that was that. Today is her birthday, and she told me she wanted some Crown Royal and some strawberries, okay? So I was like, I don't even like strawberries, Grandma. And I know before I talked about us consuming things for our ancestors, because when we get a taste or when we hear, to buy this or get that and to consume something, the message is typically from the ancestors when we follow our first mind, our intuition about something, right? So although I don't fuck with strawberries like that, I got Grandma some strawberries, right? And I'm not going to leave them on the altar. It's just to charge them a little bit with her loves, remember? But she's going to have me partake in these strawberries in the next couple of hours or so. And I just wanted to share this experience with you all. Also, I kept hearing to put on green today. And I know, like in Ifa, I think it is, that Ogun colors is green and black or green and white. I'm not sure. So I am going to, the first shirt when I got redressed, because I went to go do the horses, right? So when I got dressed, the first thing was like, put on this green. And I was like, oh, okay. And then it was going to either be a white candle. I was gonna look for a pink candle, because I love pink, but it's not about me, right? It's about the ancestors, and she likes pink too, but she also likes green. Not for any particular reason, so we'll discuss that at another time. So I got this green candle, right? And remember I told you in the last video that, or in the caption, I told you that you can charge energy with your DNA, with your breath, with your saliva, when you spit, when you talk. It's just kind of natural, right? Use like a microphone, and you can bless your candles like that. After you've cleaned them, of course, with some Florida water. And I took a little bit, that's about really almost damn too much still. Took a little bit from a bigger bottle into this little bottle just to show you that, and clean it with the white cloth. So even if it's just a paper towel, that's how you clean your candle, right? And to stroke up, to move energy upward, and you stroke down to wipe energy off. So you can do 3 times down, 3 times up, or something like that, right? When you use the Florida water on the towel. Yes, comprende? Yes. And so the top of it, you just pour a little bit on the top of it to clean it off. Comprende? Si no? Okay. And then after you've cleaned it, then you do your charging and your blessing. After you've cleaned it. So you do the cleaning first, of course. And then you bless your candle. And then you light it, and that's how you activate it, right? Yada, yada, yada. So anywho, I'm hot. Yeah. Grandma got you some nice gifts. Thank you, girl. Yeah. Anywho, so one of the things that I want to tell you or share an experience with you too. I don't have long to be on here because I have clients I got to get to, and I want to respect their time. But before I do, I really want to share something that was heavy on me to share. A couple of things. One of them was how when I first began to set up an altar. Okay, let me tell you, my ancestor are the first one I had. Of course, she was on it, right? And Grandma Jessie was on it too. But this was my first experience was with her. My first clairvoyant experience was with her, right? And I got to know Grandma Jessie in this lifetime, gratefully. I was a little girl. I was maybe 12 when she passed, and she lived in Midland, Texas. And then Grandma Verla, I didn't get the chance to meet her, right? So, but when she came to me, when I got into the actual ancestor altar thing, I didn't really know I had one. And I tell you, it's so simple to start your ancestor altar, right? When you're beginning, it's just that I don't feel people should become dependent on that to be a relationship, because a lot of people use that for escapism. But that's a conversation for another time. If you got questions about it, DM me about that specifically. So I said it was just an altar. It was basically a white mantle I had cleaned off, and I had always had a candle and her picture next to it. That was it. And I got activity. Okay, I got. And there was a whole fireplace really that was lit when I remember that night. Like, can't nobody tell me. I'm trying to, it was deep. It was heavy for me to be 9 years old. You know what I'm saying? And to experience that. But the fire was lit and it was going. And so I was dancing with her in the fire, in the living room, dancing around the living room with her picture. And then I don't know why I did it either. When I smelled it and when I smelled her scent. So as an adult, when I really got into the ancestors thing and everything, I had her altar set up. It was just her picture and candle. And again, I still was getting activity from her, right? Messages and stuff like that. And so, but when I got into it, like the proper setup, yada, 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 thing, I tried to put my grandfather next to her husband, who passed when I was probably about 9, 10. Oh, no, I was younger than that. I was like 7. I was like 7 or 8. So when I was trying to put Big Daddy next to Grandma Verla, right? Because I'm like, oh, they're in heaven now together. That wasn't it. Let me tell you about Verla. She wasn't having it. It was something. For some reason, when I was setting this picture, when I set the picture up, and things just start happening. When I tried to set his picture up next to hers, she was not having it. Not having it. And I heard some nasty things. I was like, oh my grandmother. Like, oh my. It was like pearl clutching. I was like, wow. So that was really deep for me. And then that went into, kind of just pushed me to ask questions to my aunts, who of course knew her because they were her daughter, right? Remember her to a certain age when they were like 16, 17 when she passed. Especially my Aunt Kathy was very open to talking about her because she was the eldest. And then my other aunts, it was just kind of the younger siblings of my dad were it was a lot of secret, a lot of family secrets, a lot of stuff. And I was like, and the cousins would ask each other, like, what have you heard? Like, what are they talking? Like, why are they so angry? Why are they so aggressive? What's this energy? Like, why is it like that when you bring up Big Daddy or you bring up Grandma Verla or you want to ask questions and, kind of like, because we wanted to know where the hell we came from and what, what I'm saying, about her mom, yada, yada, yada. So it was just really perturbing. And, so she was like that, like I had to take his picture down, like take it down. She was not having it, okay? And long story short, and it's really heartbreaking to share this, and it's a huge what would be considered a family secret, and why maybe I don't talk to a lot of family members on my dad's side, because they still deal with the pain and the anguish, mental instability, emotional instability about the relevance of what I'm about to tell you. So come to find out, there was a domestic violent fight between my big daddy and my grandmother, and only maybe a couple of months after that big fight, my grandmother passed. So I was like, oh, I'm tying this shit together, right? And you ask that, and I mean, if they see this live, baby, they're going to chop head. They coming for me. You know, that's how, like, what? Like, you don't say this shit out loud. And they saw this, and they dealt with domestic violence in their home. I dealt with domestic violence in the home as like a generational curse to see that. But it was because, you know, this is how they learn. You know, we only mimic what we see our parents do, right? So it's time to break those generational curses for this particular reason, right? So they haven't healed from that. And it's like, you can't heal somebody or help somebody who does not want to be helped or healed. It's almost damn near impossible, because you cannot enforce, you know, your beautiful, wonderful healing energy on somebody who don't want it. You're going to put yourself out there or set yourself up for serious, like, hurt and pain yourself, and you're too good for that. And so I just want to encourage you to, as long as you understand in your heart and you know what the healing is about, or where the hurt and the root of those things come from, the other side, the ancestors on the other side are leading you to this information for a purpose. It's for you to heal yourself first, because if you're not healed, you can't heal nobody else anyway. Period. And you can't force nobody to be healed. You can't, unless they want it. Unless they got to come to terms with cleansing that energy off of themselves and getting help. And I'm not going to lie, I don't believe, it ain't a belief, it's facts, that psychology is not spirituality, and they're not. But definitely, like my sister, Conjure sister, stated on that long ass commentary that I appreciate on the post, because I know she's a master's in psychology, said that mental health is very important. Before people probably get involved in spirituality, because a lot of people use spirituality too as escapism. So they think that these things just go away, and they don't. You gotta like heal, and then trust me, I've been through the psychology process, and it's super, super helpful. And I stated a couple of days ago on my storyline that it's even on my page where you book, that if you need help, or if you feel like you're gonna hurt yourself or hurt somebody else, or if you're dealing with some serious, like, what I'm doing is pretty much entertainment compared to like the issues that people, people really, really have deep inside, in their mental, mental health. And I encourage you, or for you to encourage other people to seek some professional assistance first. Okay, get that shit out. It's okay, black people have a stigma where it's like, oh, we don't go see no shrink because we ain't crazy type shit, and it's not about that. So I want to encourage that and put that out there first, about mental health, about domestic violence, and that being generational curse. You know what I'm saying? And it's up to us to be able to heal ourselves from that, so that we can grow and have healthy children, so that we don't inflict this violence on our children, and we procreate the generations behind us to be superior to us, for the better. Okay. And so I just want to, I know my message was that to give you today from Grandma Verla, and that was pretty deep. That was really heavy. I think I broke a little sweat about it, even too, because it's not a very easy story to tell. And so thank you for listening to that part.